And cheers with some water.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Oh, I can hear sound.
Oh, that's good. Sound is good.
Hydrating the water.
All right, cool. Hey, man. Welcome to the BlabberMalt Show, everybody. This is episode 130 for January 20th, 2026. Hey, now, we got to send this to Matthias. Right on. If you guys don't know, we do a show every Tuesday, 7 p.m., somewhere cool that has to do with adult beverages out in Northeast Ohio. We are live on Facebook, YouTube. Tomorrow we'll be up on Spotify, and we're also cross-posting on the Northeast Ohio Craft Beverage News site tonight. And this is a little bit of a different location for us tonight, Tom. We are enjoying adult beverages, but not beer tonight. Tell the folks where we are.
We are at River Roots Barrel Company out here on the west side of Cleveland, west 122nd. And even though it is a bourbon whiskey as their main product, obviously you guys know that bourbon barrels are used in a lot of beer processes as well. So there's a little bit of a connection, but still a very unique thing to Cleveland that has opened up in the last year or so.
With us, 2 years now. 2 years? Yeah, 2.5 actually going on. They're parallel worlds, the beer world, the whiskey world. There's a lot of similarities.
And we should say we've got Tom Gray with us. And
I'm Mike Orick.
Oh, you're using your real name. No pseudonym? Okay.
No aliases today.
No Juan Valdez in the house.
No. That'll cross over to Rob over at the Northeast Ohio Craft Beer newsletter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Keep it on the DL, Rob.
Rob does a great job over there.
Yeah. So, hey, guys, like, follow, subscribe, do all the things. Let the algorithm know this is a cool show you like. And find these guys on the socials, too. You guys are River Roots Barrel Company, I think, on all the socials.
Yeah, we sure are. River Roots Barrel Co., River Roots Barrel Company, yeah. We have our Instagram page is the River Roots page. Then we also, and this is probably the cooler one of the two, frankly, we have another page called the River Roots Rick House. And it's not something that we started or did. It's we had some guys come in that are big bourbon fans, and they said, man, you guys need a separate Facebook page where all news travels and new releases show up and people can talk about products and have tastings and all that. And we're just like, man, we don't have the time or the energy. And they said, we'll do it for you. So these guys are great. They started the River Roots Rick House page, and it is awesome. It's got a lot of people on it. Anytime we're releasing anything new, like today we released 3 new bottles. It went on there, and news travels fast. So it's a good
River
thing.
Roots Rick House?
Yeah, so when you're driving in the western hills of Kentucky or anywhere, frankly, outside of the distilleries, they have these big, usually painted black or a dark color, unmarked buildings. They're 5, 6, 7 stories, tiny windows, non-insulated walls, and that's where they store all of the barrels.
Okay.
And they want those barrels to experience the hot Kentucky summers and the cold winters, because that's what moves all the liquid in and out of the wood, the expansion and the contraction.
Okay, cool.
All of the bourbon barrels that are usually stored up on the higher levels are the ones that have usually the higher proofs, the deeper, more complex flavors. Those are the barrels that we try and seek out usually whenever possible.
And those buildings are called a
Rick House. You got it.
Tom, we're 5 minutes in and we're learning stuff. I'm learning stuff. Look at that.
Right.
Also, you guys hit our Beacons link there. You can get all the swag. You can get the sweatshirts, T-shirts, and I'm hydrating today. But these guys were kind enough to give us glasses of water as well. Camelback, come on, get you one.
I need to give you a River Root sticker for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I need to sticker that thing up.
Where does the name come from for River Root?
So a couple of years ago, well, God, it's been more than that.
It goes back a while.
I was brewing for another brewery here locally, and had to come up with a plan B for life. Unfortunately, my ex-wife had just passed away. I quickly became a dad of 3 teens, which is the greatest thing in the world. But with the beer industry going the way that it was in 2020 and the way it's continued to go, I was like, I need to come up with something different. I love bourbon, so decided at that point to start a brewery, a distillery, and a restaurant that I was going to do with some buddies in Rocky River. And then a buddy of mine wanted to get on it with me, and he's really bourbon. He's a bourbon wise guy. He just knows a ton. His palate's great. He's a huge collector. And he said, well, let me do this with you. And I said, yeah, that's cool. And then we decided on the name River Roots. I live in Rocky River. My kids are rooted. I'm rooted there. The kids go to school there. His kids go to school. He's rooted in Rocky River. So River Roots became the name of what we got. As a matter of fact, this whole thing was going to be in Rocky River, except for the place that we were looking at didn't have functioning sprinkler lines. Yeah. Who would have thought that you would need sprinkler lines when you're dealing with combustibles wrapped in firewood? And frankly, let's be honest with you, I don't think the sprinkler lines are going to do any good. I think if there's a fire in here, it's going to blow up. I don't think it's going to be something that sprinkler lines are going to help with.
Make a lot of steam.
The block. We would make the news, unfortunately. But so the thing was, it just cost a fortune to get those sprinkler lines going again. So we looked at other places, and it would have cost $100,000 to get those sprinkler lines going again. We looked at another spot, and that wasn't right either. And we finally said, all right, God damn it. Sorry, excuse my language.
Hey.
First place we find with sprinkler lines, we're going in there. And here we are in the main streets of West 121st Street off of Triscuit. So, but only for a short amount of time. We're actually building a new place, and we're going to be in there in a couple months.
Oh, is it still going to be this area?
No, down the flats.
Down the flats.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to have a bar. It's going to have a whole lot more space. We have a ton of barrels that we own that are being stored in Kentucky because we just don't have the room here. This whole little tiny room that we're sitting in is all we got. Yeah. And we bring barrels in, we bottle it, we ship them out, and then we bring more barrels in. So I'd love to be able to have all of our barrels in one house.
We've done pretty good with the space that we have. We can pretty much accommodate about 125 barrels now, but we just need more space.
Are we going to see a rick house in the flats?
So that we're not into aging. It would be a different story. What we like to do is we like to buy these barrels fully aged, ready to drink, and you wouldn't believe in these rick houses. And there's a ton of them. You drive through Kentucky, western Kentucky, and you just see them everywhere. These things are enormous. They're the size of multi-layered Home Depots, and there are barrels upon barrels upon barrels that are just stashed in corners that even, those distillers don't know what they're going to end up doing with one day. And they're just getting older and they're just getting better and they have no real plans for them. So that's when we go down there and we say, all right, let me buy these from you because the bourbon, and we get to try them, the bourbon inside these barrels, the world needs to know about this. And these things are just wasted right here, and people would love these things. Sell them to me. I want to bring them to Cleveland. All right, cool. You can have them, but you can't tell anybody, non-disclosure, you can't tell anybody who made this in case I was to do some blending or do something, get weird with it. They wouldn't want their name attached to it, right?
Yeah.
So
now, do you do blending? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, because that is my understanding of the kind of this concept is that you guys are getting barrels of bourbon from other distilleries,
the big guys,
bring them in here. Sometimes blending based on your taste profiles of what you want to get, and then maybe letting it age for another 6 to 12 months. Or
totally. Yeah, as a matter of fact, here, this one right here. You guys want to start getting weird right now?
I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah, bring there's a few glasses over there, Dave. Just pass a couple of glasses down. So this one right here, perfect example, right? So the barrels that we buy them with the intention of having them be ready to drink. This place is tiny. We don't have room to just let things sit, and we only seek out the best barrels that we can. We turn away all kinds of barrels. Even crazy 20-year stuff. We've turned away 20-year bourbons before. We're always looking for high age statements. We're always looking for high proof too, but they also have to taste good. And there was one particular batch where we just like, oh man, really good deal on these barrels, but they don't quite taste overwhelmingly good. So we can pass on these and find some 12 or 13-year-old stuff that tastes a whole lot better and be happier about that. I'd rather have the River Roots name on a barrel or on a bottle that has something really good in it. You know what I mean? As opposed to, and you see, this place is tiny. There's no room for mediocre. We only try and bring in the best of the best of the best that we can possibly get. So talking about our blending and what we do, here's one of them. This was just released today. It's our 11-year Kentucky bourbon. I can't tell you who made it. It's Kentucky bourbon. But we brought these bourbon barrels in. And then we had freshly emptied some American light whiskey barrels, which are really, really good.
Yeah.
140 proof or so. Those things were barrel strength.
Don't sleep on American light whiskey.
No, man. You find a bottle of American light whiskey and you think, oh, that sounds kind of weird. No. Yeah. You got to try it.
So give me a brand of American light whiskey. What's something I would find in a store?
You don't see too many of them.
No?
You'd have to look for, you go to your local liquor stores, you're probably not going to find one. If you go on to some of these really creative bourbon pages on social media, Unicorn is an auction site where people are selling these the bottles on the secondary market.
Does Sealbox have anywhere?
Sealbox probably does. I don't know if they have any of ours, but they might have somebody's American malt whiskeys or light whiskeys. Rather,
American light whiskey is a style.
it is a style.
Okay.
So, and these things are usually typically old too. They're in the 20s, 20-some years old and older, because back in like the early 80s or so, when all of the light liquors, the gin and the vodka, were really on this big popularity thing, and nobody was drinking bourbon or any kind of brown liquor as much, they decided they're going to make a style and call it American light whiskey, even though it's still brown in color. This isn't one, but it doesn't look too far off color-wise from this. They call it an American light whiskey as just kind of, frankly, a gimmicky style. We see it in beer all the time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What's the difference between... it doesn't matter. We're not going to have a bunch of people chime in like, oh, well, a cold IPA is actually this, or a West Coast IPA is... Yeah, I love all IPAs. It's not a big deal.
Damn it, it's Cascadian Dark Ale.
Yeah, but an Imperial Pilsner, it's some of the style names just kind of get weird and a little cloudy. But anyway, with the American light whiskey, they were
A little hazy.
yeah.
The non-hazy.
Yeah. With the American light whiskey, it was just a name. It was just, hey, we're starting to lose market share, and we need to come up with a tricky way for us to sell our product, maybe alter the mash bill a little bit. And in the end, what they ended up with was something that didn't take off the way that it wanted to, but all of these barrels, as they just got older and older and older, they still linger in these warehouses and these rick houses. They taste phenomenal.
They're pretty fantastic.
All
So it
right,
was
so
just
this-
a name, marketing term they came up and it just kind of stuck. And
Remember, like, a Miller Genuine Draft was cold filtered?
yeah,
Every beer's cold filtered.
yeah.
Never heat pasteurized.
Yeah.
The heat pasteurization is a thing, you know what I mean? But it's just names, it's just words. Stroh's was always fire brewed. The hell's
Yeah.
fire brewed?
Beechwood
you know?
aged. Yeah, okay.
All right, so this is an 11-year-old that you guys
Yeah.
got, and then
So yeah, right.
You
So
did
this
some fun
was
stuff with
Back to the blending.
it did. It came out. It was a Kentucky bourbon, a little over 10 years at that point, and then we took it out of that and put it into 2 freshly emptied American light whiskey barrels. Let it sit in there for a while, and then that picked up a ton of character. And then we did. This is what's considered a triple oak because it went into a 3rd barrel after that, and that was from. I can't say who from, but it was the style of that was a wheated bourbon. Typically, bourbon doesn't have wheat in it in the mash bill. It's corn. It's got to be over 50% corn. A lot of it has rye and malted barley in it too. But the matter of fact, it's these barrels right here. Those are wheated bourbon barrels. Phenomenal. The wheat, when they add that, becomes the 4th ingredient in the mash bill, and adds this roundness and this smoothness, and it just makes it so much more. We like to use the word approachable.
Just fantastic character.
Yeah, and it's just you can have a wheated or a bourbon that's 125, 130 proof, and it'll be like really bitey and hot. But if it's a wheated bourbon at the same proof, it's usually going to go down a whole lot easier.
Smooths it out a little bit.
Yeah. So this one here is the Triple Oak that we released today. 11-year. There you go, Dave.
Thank you.
There you go, Tom. We like to get funky and crazy with our labels, our wax jobs, everything.
A wax job.
Yeah.
No rim jobs here, just wax jobs.
Just wax up.
Christ.
Well, cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
I guess maybe salute for Juan here.
Kampai.
It's not a chugger, it's a sipper. Proof on this one came up to 130, 131. No, 132 and a half on that blend. It's big. You go to the liquor store, and you're not going to see a ton of single barrels that are going to be offered at 132 proof. So that's another thing that we like to do to sort of separate ourselves. You can go to the liquor store, and there's a wall of 80 and 90 proof stuff. And that's fine. There's some good things out there.
Yeah.
I can rattle off 3 or 4 really good bottles that are under $25 that everybody just passes up.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just want something with a little bit more flavor. I mean, if you had a sip of something like this at full barrel strength versus something that's offered, at 80, 90 proof, you just immediately tell the difference in the depth and the complexity. This sucker can go, it just lingers for days. The mouthfeel hangs. Right. Yeah. The finish sticks around.
To me, it's the finish. And again, it starts. The beginning is very smooth, and then you get a little bit of a heat.
That's the Kentucky hug, they call that.
But then, as you're talking about this, I mean, it's still in there. It's almost like it's still coating my mouth a little bit inside. It's like the creaminess of it.
Oh, it's coating something. All right.
You guys and your jokes. Yeah, there's it's
That's very good.
limitless. There's so many different things. We've done quad oaks where we've done a triple oaking, and then those were actually really, really cool too. Remember those quad oaks?
Chardonnay barrels.
Come on now, those are great.
So
Yeah, those are pretty fantastic.
So this one you've done in 3 different barrels,
Yes.
but was the actual bourbon mixed as well with something else, or did you
Straight
took the
bourbon.
straight bourbon that you got?
Out of a barrel into a barrel, out of that barrel into a barrel,
Okay.
into a bottle.
So that was the River Roots add to this was
Yeah.
taking that bourbon and letting it sit in some barrels to get some other flavors.
Secondary finishes, they call those.
The American Light and then the wheat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. A wheated bourbon was the final one.
Okay.
And then we also do other stuff too. We brought in some freshly emptied port wine barrels from Napa Valley.
Oh.
Filled those things up with rye whiskey. The first go we did it with bourbon.
So
And,
Angel Envy does that, right? Angel Envy.
yeah,
has
there's
the
other places
port-
that do that
okay.
too. Yeah, it adds. I mean, the ones that we did, it was like grape juice. It smelled like grape juice.
They were
we put
intense.
that
They were intense.
rye whiskey into the barrel, which was really wild too because they were top fill bungs.
Oh, that is odd. Instead of a side.
Yeah,
Okay.
some of them do them on the top. There's one particular distillery in Indiana. Well, we get a lot of stuff. We have a direct relationship with them. Kings of making rye whiskey, if you ask me. Sometimes these barrels will show up vertically, standing like vertically on a pallet, and sometimes they'll be horizontally on a pallet, or they'll go on racks. But the really wild ones that we got from Napa Valley didn't come from them necessarily. They were port wine, and then as soon as we got them in, I opened it up, and it was a top bung. Opened up the bung, hit with a frickin' ton of just grape, just a lot of grape. I was like, wow, sure was wine in here. And then I looked at the stamps on top of it, and it said grape brandy on there. And I was like, did they send us the right barrels? So did some research and said, hey, I think you guys might have sent us the wrong barrels. These things say grape brandy on it. And they're just like, nope, right barrels. It had grape brandy, and then it had port wine, and then it went to you.
Wow.
And I was like, this is rad. We filled these things up. It wasn't 3 days. I tested it again, pulled the sample out of it, and that rye whiskey that I put in there had already turned purple. Yeah. And the reason why is there was a ton of grape must in there because it was a vertically stood barrel. When they went to go empty it, they had to use a bulldog. All the brewers know what a bulldog is. They had to use a bulldog to get all the product out. and it left behind a ton of grape must on the bottom of it. And if it were a side bung, as soon as you flip that, it all comes out. But this one here, all of that stuff was left behind. So we put our whiskey into it. It immediately took on color. It took on flavor. And when you take a sip of it, it only had to stay in there for, I think we did 3 months.
It didn't take long.
Well, so that's my next question. I mean, how do you know how long to keep it in there? I mean, I'm sure there's some trial and error, some science to it,
Sure.
depending on what it is. I mean,
It's-
you're tasting along the way.
That's it, right? You can't rush anything. It's just like any brewer knows too. The beer tells you when it's done. You don't tell the beer when it's done. You know, fermentation, you don't rush that thing. You let that thing finish out, and unless it's a style that you need to do something like that, or you want to keep, you know, some residual sugars or whatever left behind in. But typically with these things, we just taste it. Let's give it some more time. And then there's a day where you just know, you're just like, I think today's the day. We're ready.
Do you ever, like when you have a project, you're going to build this bourbon, like this one, for example, if you get through the first barrel, you taste it, and you're like, you know, this is really good, let's release it, or you just, let's put it in another barrel. How do you make that decision?
Yeah, does it change
Like
along
how
the
many
way, or is
barrels?
it always?
Changes along the way.
Yeah.
Yes. So think about the journey of these barrels here. A lot of these things, you know, like I said a moment ago, we like to buy higher age statement stuff, and it certainly has to pass the taste test too, in order for us to want to purchase it. But when we receive them, they've never really been open and exposed to oxygen before. Usually when a sample is pulled, it's because somebody drilled a hole into it, filled up a tiny little sample jar, plugged that hole back up, and it never really got to, you know, feel the air contact. As soon as we empty one of these barrels, pop the bung, dump it, and then let it aerate, it is a different whiskey. It's a different bourbon 7 days later.
Than what you were tasting along the way.
You bet. And it's never, ever worse. It only gets better with oxygen contact.
I've had to fight some barrels to get the bung out. Like I said, these things haven't been open, so we get them here. And now, granted, they spent some time in the truck being shipped here from, you know, out of state.
Yeah.
But get the, you know, bung, get it ready to go. So we sample these things, grab some numbers out of these things, and the bung just wants to stay in the barrel. You can just hear the vacuum, and it just sticks around.
Yeah, yeah.
So you said grab some numbers. So there's more than just taste. There's some true science as well that we're talking. You guys are doing some readings on the actual
Proof
bourbon that you-
readings,
proof readings?
yeah.
Okay.
But we have a fancy, it's probably the slickest thing in the whole room, to be
Call it a
honest with you.
hydrometer, but
It's
more
yeah,
than a hydrometer.
it's actually a density meter, and it's made by Anton Parr, who makes, you know, all of the lab stuff for all the breweries too, and it uses it's like sound. It's oscillating U-tube is what it's called. That's inside this handheld thing. You draw up a sample. Sample travels through the oscillating U-tube. It uses sound kind of like a tuning fork, and it's able to spit out the density of the liquid, and then quickly on a screen it transfers that number from its density reading into an actual proof reading. So it's it's
So
instantaneous.
you know just taste it and say 102.
We're getting pretty good. We're getting pretty
Trying
good.
to do that, but the reality is sometimes we get stuff that's 130 proof and it's just smooth, and other times you get stuff that's 109 proof and it's that Kentucky Huck, like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there do you guys buy anything young? I mean, anything beyond 3 or 4 years? When you're buying your stuff, I know you said you're getting a lot of the older stuff. What's the youngest that you do get? And
Our very, very first batch of barrels that we ever got here were 5 year, and that's the youngest we've ever seen. We've done some 6s since then. They were
And then
remarkable 6s, though.
and then you let them sit here or do anything with them, or are they
No.
sometimes ready just to go?
No, ready to go. If it tastes good, we're not going to commit to buying X amount of barrels. If it needs some more aging time, just don't have the space for it. So we buy it ready to go, ready to drink, ready to be had, ready to bottle. 95% of our business is doing custom labels for groups and companies and restaurants and bourbon clubs all over the country, and even in South Korea. And
Wow.
all of these boxes that are here along the wall are jobs are waiting to get shipped to go out. That one there, that's Atlanta. That dude is Los Angeles.
St. Louis juice box over
St.
there
Louis
somewhere.
back there. Yeah, so
I was going to say that's kind of where I first got exposed to you guys. I was actually out at Zek's at Laughing Bomb. He had the stuff on the shelf there. I saw the name. I either read or heard something about the River Roots Michael Simon project coming to Cleveland. That's where I got to try it the first time, and it was kind of really neat that it had their name on it, so the customized label that you're just talking about.
Right.
I think I saw on either your page or it was the Winking Lizard page.
we did one for
The
them, too.
bottle of the Winking Lizard River Roots. It's just kind of neat to see that as well. So these people, do they come and try it and pick one out? Do you guys have a style that you generally provide with the customized labels?
Yeah, that is how it goes. People will come in. We can always send samples out, right? So they'll say, "Hey, if when their name comes up in the queue, hey, it's your turn to pick barrels. Here's what we've got available. This at this proof, this at this proof, this at this proof." And we'll send them out, and then they have to get back to us within a week and say, "Okay, we choose this one, or we choose these two, or we choose these three." Right?
Yeah, right. Some people spend
Some people
crazy
buy-
money and they buy 3 barrels.
They'll take all
Yeah.
3 of their samples.
Yeah.
And now, do they don't actually get the barrel? You bottle it for them, or
We have enough. We have so many empty barrels. I wish everybody would take the barrel.
Come buy some barrels.
Yeah.
well, and again, I'm surprised they're not. The other place that you guys have come up was Ann down at Four Paws Red Wagon. Her last dark beer that she just down, I think, around the holiday season. She had, I think, for close to 10 months in a River Root barrel.
Yeah. She's had it for a while. Yeah.
So it's also neat that you guys are doing that. I know. I'm trying to think. Isn't Cleveland Whiskey supposed to be doing something down in the flats too? Are you guys be neighbors?
They're
down there.
Already down there?
Down the river
We're on
somewhere.
the other opposite side, West 3rd,
Okay.
Taxi,
Yeah.
Station,
Yeah,
I think they're
I mean, I know a lot of breweries have used their
Eagle
barrels in the
Avenue.
past. I know the local tomfoolery out on the Far East Side, their barrels have been used.
Sure.
But
He makes a great apple brandy. The Applejack that he makes is absolutely awesome.
but it's been kind of neat seeing some breweries now with the River Root barrels in there. Again, something
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, what do you think about a Blabber barrel
Blabber barrel.
whiskey? A Blabber Malt.
You guys have, if you have room in the car, take a barrel with you, please. Please.
Like-
We need to get rid of these things. I had this idea. I was.
I'm
cracking-
surprised you can't. I mean, people used to. That was a big thing for a while. The people wanted barrels even for
Yeah, in
decoration.
the wintertime it's tougher to get rid of them,
Yeah.
but we're emptying these. We're emptying 7 or 8 a week, and they're just starting to pile up. You know what I mean? So,
And you only use barrels once, correct?
if you want to call it bourbon, it can only be used once. You can use it twice, but it has to be just be called whiskey at that point.
Yeah,
But
we
we're
still
not
have port
distilling,
barrels
so we're not going to put anything in it anyway. So, but if anybody wants to age beer in it, man,
Yeah.
these things are as fresh gets.
Anybody
I
out there
sell
making
them
a
cheap.
saison, come get one of these port barrels.
Yeah.
I love saisons, but as a home brewer, 55 gallons is a lot. That's a
Right,
lot of
yeah.
work.
If any pro brewers out there haven't already snagged some barrels from us, don't spend money to get them from somewhere else. These are all made by all the big dogs, so perfect for aging beer. Just let me know. Hit me up.
All right, Tom, we'll diverge a little bit here. You had mentioned a little bit earlier when we were talking off camera, and as you were saying it, it brought back some conversations I had. You do have some history as being a brewer as well. Can you talk through that journey? Were you at one time a home brewer, and then any professional brewing that you did prior to taking this River Root detour?
I did 1 or 2 homebrew batches in the past, but it wasn't really what got me into brewing. In 1993, I moved out to Colorado and I needed a job, and I walked into Boulder Beer, and I already loved craft beer at the time. At the time, those options were pretty limited. We were drinking Pete's Wicked Ale and
Pete Swick.
Sam Adams.
I was going to ask, what were your, so that's gateway beers, so those would be probably your first two
Yeah.
true craft beers?
Yeah, and when I moved out there, Odell's was just starting up, and New Belgium was just starting up, and I got a job at Boulder Beer, and I just decided, man, I'm 21, and I'm living in Colorado, and I have no responsibilities and no car and no debts, and life is a party, and I just said this is the path that I'm going to continue with for a while. And so ultimately moved back to Cleveland, brewed for Crooked River down in the Flats when they were down there in the 90s, and then Rock Bottom as well. And then up to Michigan, brewed for a brew pub in Lansing. That was later 90s. Came back down, brewed for Wallabies. That was a franchise that used to be here.
Oh yeah, it's right down the street from
Westlake.
us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was a brew pub in Westlake, right, over at Crocker.
Yeah.
And then we had a production brewery where we were making POC. We brought POC back for a short amount of time before the guys on the east side did the Cellar Rats guys did it.
Double Wing, yeah.
Double Wing.
Has it now, yeah.
Yeah. So in, I don't know, when was that? 99, we were making POC. And it had a cool label. It had green and white vertical stripes. But at that time, you know, the market share for craft beer was only 5%. And we were on a hugely oversized system. It was a 50-barrel brew house with 150-barrel fermenters and brights.
Where was that at?
It was on Sperry Road in an unmarked building.
In Westlake.
Wow.
In Westlake, yeah. And we used to throw ragers. Y2K party. We had a big Y2K party. Chris Altmont was there. He'll remember this. We used the kettle as a hot tub and stuff. It was a trip. It was an absolute trip.
150 barrel fermenters.
Fermenters. They were gigantic. Yeah.
I had no idea.
It was so
Wow.
over.
See, I'm learning more stuff.
Yeah. It's
And that was just for the Wallabies group? Which I didn't know they had more than one. I didn't know that was a franchise.
Yeah, at that time there was one downtown, which is now Barrios on Prospect, right over by East 4th Street. That was, I brewed at that one. And then we had the brew pub that was over at Crocker Bassett. And then the production brewery that was on Sperry. And then they started franchising one. Salem, Ohio got one. And then there was one in Medina, a little 5-barrel
That
brew
lasted
house.
barely a year there. That was
I brewed on that one as well. And so did Zozak, I think, too.
because that was when the Westlake one closed, the Medina one opened up, and it was short-lived.
They were both going at the same time.
For a little bit. All right.
Yeah. But anyway, so then after that, oh hell, let's see. Got into sales, like beer sales. Never left the beer world really for too long. I was a distributor rep for beverage distributors for a handful of years. And then got back into the brewing game with Black Box. He started remaking the Crooked River stuff, and he's like, I need a brewer. And I was like, sure, man, let's dust off the boots.
Can't think of his name right now.
Jerome.
Yes.
He's a good dude.
We used to pour for him at the Oktoberfest and a
Yeah.
couple events.
He's a great guy. Real good guy. Still bump into him every now and again. And then what? Ohio Brewing Company for a very brief spell.
Down in Akron?
Down in Akron, yeah, I was going like 9 weeks, and they still didn't pay me, and I was like, And then the owner walked in with a brand new TV set and hung it on the wall, and I was like, this is bullshit, man. And it was a Friday, and then he came in on Monday. He's like, were you the last one here on Friday? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, what happened to that TV set? I think somebody broke in. I was like, no, it's at my house. I watched it all weekend. And he was like, you got to be kidding me. And I was like, pay me my money. And then he paid me my money, and I got to also keep the TV set, which was nice.
Nice.
I still watch it. That was 2011.
Not Verde, I can't remember his name, but yeah. Chris, yes.
He's not a bad guy either. It was actually the conversation with his brother. But anyway, and then New Belgium, Fatheads, head brewer over at Fatheads at production on Sheldon Road, not on the one where it's at right now. Yeah, and then masthead first bow.
I would say you've been around the block.
Yeah, my resume is like a checkerboard. It's really nothing. It's nothing to brag about.
A lot of stuff.
But I mean,
A lot of breweries.
you're brewing at all those places, though. I mean, you're not
Yeah.
necessarily washing pots and pans. You're brewing.
No, I got to brew on a bunch of different systems, which was cool. And then most recently, right before this, Gary, the owner of Rocky River Brewing Company, said, "Hey, Jim Lieb's leaving." He was there for 14 years. It was Matt Cole and then Jim Lieb. And then Jim Lieb was moving down to, North Carolina or wherever he went, Myrtle Beach. And he goes, and Gary was just like, "You want the gig?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I've got this other project going on, and I don't know if it's going to be a year or if it's going to be 2 years." And he was like, "All right, then stick around for a year or 2 years, whatever it is." So brewed at Rocky River Brewing Company right after Jim, and then Steve Kessler took over there, and now Vaughn's going over there now, and then this thing started up and left Rocky River Brewing, came here.
And you're expanding already here, so that's great.
Yeah,
That's great. Must be going great.
Yeah, things are all right.
And Mike, you brewing background at all? Or?
I got into this whole craft high-end import thing back mid-90s, kind of, a little after Tom. But I started homebrewing a little bit late 90s, and I was still going to the bar. I was still buying beer to drink at home and homebrewing.
Oh, yeah.
So the homebrewing is what broke. But then I got to watch the whole bubble form, if you will. So I was an industry fanboy for a long time. And I know all the same people and kind of running around. And I met Tom in that whole brewing thing because I ended up being kind of the
At Saucy.
At Saucy Brewworks. I have kind of a construction background, so I was kind of the fix-it guy on call. Hey, can you fix this? Can you put up the side awning? Can you do this? Well, yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool.
lots of time here because of that. That's where I met Tom. I was previously working in my last job before I came here. He hit me up just to get another set of hands in here because the volume was starting to pick up quite a bit. So I was pretty flexible at the old job, and I was kind of doubling up. So I'd go 7 to 1 p.m. at the day job, and I'd come here till about 5 o'clock, and we'd rock shit out. The old job kind of got a little bit weird, toxic work environment, management kind of stuff. And I just decided I had enough. So January 1 of this year,
Full-time employee here.
full-time employee here, but it goes back to, we're doing this, I don't know, about 5 or 6 months
Yeah.
before that.
You've been here a while already.
Yeah, a little while already.
Right hand.
And as somebody who comes from the beer nerd kind of background, wasn't the biggest nerd, but this is kind of where it all comes together. The whole beer thing, you spend all this time trying to chase stuff, whether it was 2012 when chasing trucks for KBS, or even when I first saw CBS. I'm like, CBS, where the hell do I get that? I remember going back to the mid-early 2000s, 2004, 2005. I'm like, Dark Lord, where the hell do I get Dark Lord? I'm like, oh, they have a festival. You got to go get it at the festival. I'm like, okay. What we have going on here, what Tom's got going on here, is fantastic. It's like getting all the premium product without having to chase the trucks. It's absolutely wild between the bourbon, the rye, and I really, really love the rye. The rye is fantastic. I like the rye over the bourbon. In my wheelhouse, it's definitely much more consistent.
So try some like
Quick note on, we were talking about the high proofs and stuff. We have 2 products that we do that are proof down. This is one of them. This is the 100 proof rye.
It's proof down.
proof
It's
down to
100.
100.
Proof down.
yeah.
And then we have a 100 proof bourbon as well. These are rotating based on what's coming through the marketplace, what we can get our hands on, what we like, how things go together. But outside of these 100 proof rye and bourbons, everything else we do is single barrel. We were talking about the blending. We do a honey aged product too. That's another one of the blends that we do. That's fantastic. We don't have it right now. And those original barrels, I think we were getting from an apiary out in Oberlin.
Close. Where was he? Wellington.
Yeah. And the honey's pretty fantastic too. I mean, and that stuff runs. I think batch 2 of that. The first batch went to Northeast Ohio Bourbon Community.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they did a barrel pick.
They
gave
did a
them the
barrel
whole
pick, and then the second one was a retail outlet for us, and it was 127 proof, and it had the heat, but oh my God, was it luscious!
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Cracked a bottle open at 1 a.m. and drank half a bottle.
rye generally are not my thing, but this does not have that. And I don't know if it's a heavy rye that some of the other bourbons have. This is much milder.
Less
Yeah.
bite.
For me, less of a bite. Sometimes the
yeah.
ryes for me are a little too much. And I know, I love, Manhattans and old fashions, and technically,
with a rye.
technically they're supposed to be with ryes. I generally don't because I don't
Try a
care
rye
for them.
side.
But
So that's another thing too. Typically, the rye whiskeys, especially younger age ones, they're bitey, they're grippy, they're astringent. They just kind of let you know.
and this does not do that at
This
all.
does not, and we like to use the word approachable. Like, this is a beer, or not beer. This is a rye whiskey for anybody. Anybody can get into this one. This is a small batch blend that we did, and we did proof it down. But the original starting proof on the blend that we diluted down wasn't much higher than this. So right out of the barrel at barrel strength, it was
like
only
109,
slightly higher
110
above
maybe.
this. So these were great barrels. We got our hands on some really good ones, and
Now you're calling it a blend, so you did blend this or you did not?
yeah, multiple barrels, same distill,
Same lot.
same batch, same lot. But I'll tell you what, these barrels can be sitting side by side next to each other and enduring, winters and summers next to each other, but they're not going to all taste the same. They're all going to taste different.
One's closer to the wall or something.
There's that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and there's also the magic is actually in the wood staves that make up the barrel. It's got to be American white oak unused, got to be charred with fire. But more importantly, when you break apart an oak barrel and it's comprised of all those staves, they don't all come from the same tree. They don't even all come from the same state. So soil conditions, whether it's Kentucky, whether it's West
Or
Virginia,
the actual
whether it's
wood
Tennessee,
itself. Okay.
and you want to get really weird with it. Well, yeah. Well, you want to get really weird with it. The north side of the tree produces different wood than the south side of the tree. So it's
crazy, man.
It's a technical thing. And there's oils within these woods that lycopene is one. Lycopenes and hops. There's a lot of similarities between hop oil components and wood oil components that are being used for bourbon aging.
I mean, nature just has its way of impacting everything. My gosh,
Yeah.
that's kind of neat.
It is.
Made the same day, packaged, bottled, or rather barreled the same day, and then they all choose different paths. And as soon as we get a batch or a lot in of barrels, the first thing we do is we crack them while we weigh them, and that lets us know basically roughly how many. There's a formula that we spit it through, tells us roughly how many bottles are going to be in this barrel, and then we open them all up, we proof them, we taste them, we let them sit in bottles. We fill one bottle, let it sit, come back to it, taste it again a week later. As I said before,
I saw some bottles earlier with some stuff in it.
yeah. Those
Does the
are these ones right here. They just came in the other day.
American malt whiskey.
does the distiller let you weigh the barrel before you buy it?
That's the crapshoot. I'll be honest with you.
That'd be nice to know.
Sometimes, as buyer beware, we've actually had empty barrels show up to us. And
These are all the same lot too, and we have a truck roll up. It's got 30 barrels in it. And we pull them all out, and we have to go through the whole process. That particular one was we're weighing barrels, and I'm like, dude, there ain't
There's
nothing
one
in here.
Yeah.
We
son
cracked,
of a
I
bitch.
cracked that one open. I think we got 6 bottles out of that barrel.
4.5.
4.5 bottles out of that.
And it is
barrel.
killer. It is really good too.
It's like 160 proof.
Yeah.
It's
So,
ridiculous.
how many bottles do you
Typical
normally
yield?
get? Typical yield. Out of
If something that's like 10 years old, we don't like to buy young stuff necessarily. So typically 150 bottles or so.
one barrel. Okay.
Yeah. If it sits higher in the rick house, there's more evaporation. So those are lighter barrels, but they're really flavorful barrels too. So
Now,
it's
do
doubling act.
you go? How often do you travel? Do you go down there to actually pick the barrels?
We have. I got a trip coming up in a few weeks. Going to be going down there again. We're doing a collaborative double oaking project with a pretty big distiller down there, which really cool of them. They asked us, and we were just thrilled that they did. So cannot wait for that one. So, and then going down there, we've also made some, cool connections and relationships with some of the other distilleries down there too. So,
But you're never just buying without seeing or tasting anything. You have somebody from your team goes down there and checks everything out before you purchase.
yeah, usually, we very, very rarely will buy anything without tasting it first. Have we though? Yeah, we have. But you can kind of tell, okay, this is this distiller, this is this mash bill, this is this age. I've had plenty of different
track
ones
record.
from there. I know that these are going to be all right. But, it's you can still be surprised. But fortunately for us, knock on wood, when
on
we
the
get to
stave.
taste one barrel or one sample of one barrel,
One sample of one
and we
barrel.
say, okay, how many do you have? And they'll say, yeah, we got 20 or 25 of them. Cool, send them all to Cleveland. We hope and we pray, and our fingers are crossed, that the other 24 of them taste like that sample that they pulled and they sent.
Because you're not trying all 24.
And like I said a moment ago, they're all going to taste different.
It's just how much different.
Yeah, that's how much different, right? So, but fortunately, we haven't been stuck with any duds. I got to knock again.
Yeah. So one question comes to mind. You have this business model of curating these barrels and mixing and releasing great stuff. Why not distill your own and go down that path?
Ton of equipment, crazy expense, sitting around waiting for them to mature. What if they don't taste the way you wanted to after 4 years?
Fair enough.
There's enough of these barrels laying around that I don't want to tie up any funds into
Equipment.
big question marks like,
Yeah.
what's the industry going to be like in 4 years? You know what I mean?
I guess I really I didn't really know that there's distillers that have been around for 50, 60 years, generations just generating barrels that they're not going to use.
Jimmy Russell.
Yeah,
what is that?
Jimmy Russell.
I mean, they have barrels
They make
and they're
so much of this
willing
stuff.
to
The
sell it.
popularity
Yeah.
of bourbon in the last 12, 15 years,
It's-
man, they're mashing in all the time.
yeah.
And they're just making more, and they're making more, and they're making more. Claremont, Kentucky, big news recently. Jim Beam, one of their locations, ceased productions. They're
Oh,
going
yeah.
to be doing renovations and things like that. And everybody's like, oh, my God, Beam stops making bourbon? This is crazy. No. Beam's still making bourbon. They have other places where they do it
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
It's just one of them. These guys are sitting on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a ton of it out there. And right now, there's a really good another podcast, but in our whiskey world, it is called Bourbon Pursuit, and it's done by these two dudes down in Louisville, and they actually have their own brand of Pursuit brand bourbon. Best podcast going. They have excellent conversations. They cover all the really good topics, and one of the more recent ones was NDPs, non-distilling producers. That's what we are. Who's sitting best right now for the future of what's going on? Is it the guy that's making the stuff, or is it the guy that's buying the barrels and then doing weird stuff to it, or blending, or not blending, or just selling them? And it was cool. They actually mentioned our name 2 times in that
Nice.
podcast, which was kind of
Nice.
wild. And right now we're sitting in a good spot, and we're doing all right. So
Yeah, I think it's highly innovative. I mean,
yeah.
these are fantastic. Just the 2 we've had right now.
No, I appreciate it.
I keep smelling this one, and I was like so much vanilla and
That first one,
The
was
aromatics.
very, for being that hot, or 132 proof,
Yeah.
it does not.
yeah,
In the beer world, you talk about, you get that 13, 14% beer that somehow doesn't bite you. It's
Tropius, or what was that?
yeah.
Taxidermied squirrel.
Yeah, right. I've seen
But
that.
when you have those and they're not biting, they're just still smooth. It's like, how can, and you have other ones that are 10% and taste just boozy.
Yeah.
So it's that balancing act of being able to get that flavor, maintaining that proof. I guess that's the art and science
yeah.
to some of that stuff.
Have you guys gotten out and had any of the beers that were aged in your barrels that you can recall off the top of your head?
Jason at Codex. down in Canton. Man, he did some really good stuff. He did what did he do? A quad? I think he did a Belgian quad. It was, it was right before you started. We're going back.
You were out
It
that
was
day.
really good. It was really good.
You'd have loved it.
Zozak, they did their anniversary
Yeah,
stout
the
at
anniversary
Fatheads
stout.
and ours.
Zozak
Noble
was a
Beast
little
has
bit,
some of our barrels. I think their stuff might be still aging. Masthead's got a ton of our barrels.
Yeah,
Matt Cole
yeah,
came in
Clark.
and got like 10 more barrels. Zach.
Sean's got a bunch of.
Yeah.
Sean's had a bunch of barrels. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, so they're out there. They're out there.
Yeah.
Nice.
All these guys are such talented brewers too.
Zozak was a little humble. Like, it's okay. Come on, Mike.
Yeah. No, it was a really good stout.
Yeah.
Now, you do have another partner in the business who doesn't come around too much, though, right? What's his name? He cooks sometimes, or
Yeah, he's
has a
chef.
restaurant.
Oh,
or
Mike cooks
something?
up a storm. You talking
Is
about
that-
Mike?
No, I'm not talking about me.
I think it's the other Mike.
Yeah,
The other Mike.
you talk about
I do
Simon.
lunch. I do lunch.
Yeah, yeah. Simon's part of this. He's there's four of us that are doing this, and yeah, he's one of us.
I mean, so we got how you kind of fell into this, and your friend from Rocky River, so you
Yeah.
had that Rocky River roots.
Yeah.
How did Michael Simon fall into the group? How'd that happen? Is there
Sure.
a neat story there?
Kind of is. It was really strange how it all happened, to be honest. We were going to, like I said before, we were going to have this in a building in Rocky River. And in addition to the sprinkler lines costing what they were going to cost to get it going, our primary investor partner that we had at the time owned that building. And he said, you know what? And he owned a bunch of the buildings on that street, frankly. And he goes, and we had been meeting and talking and months in, just getting this whole thing off the ground. And then he said, hey, somebody just offered me money for all of my buildings on that street, so I think I'm just going to sell them and just kind of do my own thing. And we're just like, cool, you do you. And then Ryan and I were just like, we were going to partner up with the Gunselman's guys. They were going to be the restaurant part of it.
Oh, okay.
They're great friends too. Make killer food. They do so well. Anyway, it was going to be all under one roof. Was going to be a small brewery, an actual distillery. We were going to be making our own whiskey, and then a restaurant run by Gunselman's. And then when our primary guy that had those buildings said, I'm going to sell, Ryan and I were just like, all right, we've gotten way too much into this to let this thing go away. Let's get rid of the food part. Let's get rid of the brewery part. Let's just continue on, find a smaller space, and just roll with just the whiskey and the bourbon. And kid you not, man, it wasn't even a week later, maybe, a buddy of Ryan's who used to work for Michael Simon for a long, long time said, hey, Ryan, you're a bourbon guy. Michael Simon's looking to get behind or partner up with a bourbon brand. What do you think? Are there any local brands that you know of that are Cleveland? And Ryan's just like, give me your email address, sent him our business plan, and then without even meeting Simon, they were just like, yeah, let's do this. So, but he's been here a couple times. He's a good dude. Nice
Yeah,
guy.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lives in New York, so he comes back every now and again. But we'll see him. We're actually opening a new location down in the Flats. So when that happens, which will probably be, I don't know, April maybe.
Spring.
Yeah, that's right.
Spring.
Things get pushed and pushed and pushed. I'd imagine he'll be there probably, maybe for the beginning of that. I'm not so sure.
So that's all locked up. You have the place and everything getting going.
Got the place, construction's underway, the floor is being poured.
And same concept. It's just going to be larger.
Yeah.
And you said you'll have a
We're gonna
tasting room?
actually have a bar.
Bar.
Yeah. It's going to be on Columbus Road. It's going to be 2 doors down from Brick and Barrel.
Oh,
Yep.
Cool.
Same side. Across from the Foundry, the rowing place.
yeah.
there.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Cool.
That's what I was talking about, man. If
Yeah.
people don't come and get these barrels, I'm going to brand the heck out of them and dump them all in the river and make the news.
Yeah, yeah. Why not?
Maybe Carl from Brick and Barrel will get one and put.
Oh yeah,
some
I'm sure.
beers.
Yeah, he's done some barrel aged stuff
Yeah.
in the past. Yeah.
That's what I was joking about that with Clark at Masthead, and he's like, "Dude, make a big barrel barge." And I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna make a barrel barge."
They float,
I can
you know.
do that. I can build that.
Great.
Yeah. So you guys have produced a lot of blends, released a lot of whiskey, a lot of bourbons. What would you say your favorite batch was today? Like something you thought just blew the doors off of everything else,
I know.
or
mine.
top three, maybe.
We did one called a Quad Oak. That's in the top three, for sure. That one, I'll tell you about that one. That one was, man, that was a great barrel. Secondary aged. It was a Heaven Hill.
I'm glad he said it.
I'm not supposed to say that.
That's all right.
Oh, man.
Those bottles are long gone. Anyway,
Allegedly.
allegedly, yeah,
Supposedly,
right.
yeah.
But we got those, and these were really cool. We got those already double oaked, and we didn't double oak them. Another distillery did. They sat on them for a while. They tasted just awesome. We sold a bunch of them as double oaks, and then we also kept a couple just to do other things with. So there was this thing. So remember this part. Double oak already. We brought them in. Then there was at the same time these barrels called Buff Turkeys.
Yeah.
Buff Turkey is Buffalo Trace and Wild Turkey, right?
Oh.
So 15, 16 years ago, Wild Turkey was doing construction on, or like maintenance
and
rehab
stuff.
on their still, and reached out to Buffalo Trace and said, "Hey, Buffalo Trace, we kind of don't want to stop production. Can you make, with our ingredients, our whiskey at your place, and then we'll age it back at our place at Wild Turkey?" And so they did, and then when those barrels were ready, Wild Turkey guys were just like, "No, it doesn't taste like ours. It was made on their stuff, but that was different enough that the equipment made enough of a difference that it just doesn't taste like the stuff that we make on our own still." So they sat on these barrels, and they sat on these barrels, and they just they were just known as the Buff Turkey barrels.
If there was a classic cults following for something, it was these barrels.
Yeah. People were said they released them, right?
Yeah.
They said, it turns out we really don't have a future for these barrels. And there weren't a ton of them that were available, and they were going for stupid amounts of money. And we managed to get our hands on 21 of them. And immediately, just right out of the barrel, they tasted incredible. So
you emptied them
we emptied them.
because you wanted the barrel.
We emptied them because we really liked the juice.
Yeah.
And then we still have two more sitting in that very back corner over there that were bought by, and they still have the Buff Turkey in them, that were bought by a guy who's a pitcher for the
The Mets, right?
New York Mets.
Yeah.
And
Blaze Bailey? Is that his name? I always call him Boo Radley.
Blaze Bailey plays for Iron Maiden, or sang for Iron Maiden for a
Right, he
period
did.
of
He
time.
Bruce Dickinson. Before that was
right.
Paul Diano.
Holy cow.
Blaze Bailey
Somebody
played,
was.
sang
Yeah.
for a brief before Bruce came back. Anyway,
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're right,
shit.
totally. Circa like 1999 or something.
yeah.
So anyway, Brooks
Nobody bought
Raley,
those.
that's
Brooks
his name.
Raley. Brooks
Yeah.
Raley.
So anyway,
Sorry,
we still have a
Brooks.
couple of these. So we got these barrels, Heaven Hill, Double Oak. We took them, we emptied those, we put them into the Buff Turkeys. Incredible. And then the really weird barrel was, and this is cool, total beer connection here. We got the third, so we're already at the third oak, into Heaven Hill, Double Oak, into Buff Turkey. That's Oak 3. Oak 4 is actually those two barrels, what you can't see the camera sitting on. Those are 59-gallon wine barrels made. Those barrels were actually constructed in Napa. There's a distiller out there who does wild stuff. 13 generations. His family's from Europe. 13 generations of distilling. And he would get full tanker trucks of
Hop Rod IPA.
Hop Rod Rye IPA from Bear Republic Brewery
Okay.
in tankers.
Hillsburg, California.
Yeah.
Finished beer, carbonated, ready to be bottled, canned, or kegged. He would take them, degas them, distill it, and then turn the Hop Rod Rye IPA into whiskey. And they are crazy. I told you we're going to get weird after our next one. And
Yeah.
that's the bottle that I pulled over there. And we're going to drink it. And you're going to be like, I don't understand what's going on here. It's just too much. But it's a good too much. So that is fourth aging. It went into that barrel that had the Hop Rod Rye IPA whiskey in it.
Which was a wine barrel.
Which was a wine barrel. Only it was made by somebody who makes a wine barrel, never had
wine in it. Okay.
Right. Only whiskey was in that thing.
Wow.
But the presence of the hops through this distillate in the whiskey that thing held was through the roof. Yeah. And not only that, you got crazy flavors of tobacco, and it just went layer after layer, it was the coolest thing I probably have ever tasted barrel wise that came in here. But anyway, so that's
so that was
barrel
number
age
one.
4. We had that in there for 5 weeks, which really isn't very long in the life of a secondary or triple or age, barrel aging, and already started taking on the really wild, crazy flavors that was, just kind of taking over the whiskey. And then we did a 5th oaking that went into another barrel after that, and then just kind of reversed it and brought it back again. And then, so that was the quad oak. That was
some crazy science experiments going on.
Aging. Yeah, it was just absurd. So
is there anything? I mean, as you're going from barrel to barrel, and you talked earlier that you get the evaporation that it soaks in. So does the proof of a whiskey increase or decrease as you do different barrels? I know aging that generally can increase.
Yeah, especially if it's up in the upper levels of the rick house. But the water comes out and the alcohol.
Does going from barrel to barrel ever do anything or impact the proof of it? Not necessarily. Okay.
No, you're just adding flavor components at that point. You're really not changing the proof at all.
Okay.
But there's a lot of good changes that happen just from the different woods and the different regions, so it's all worth doing. We would definitely like to do that. So
what's the next crazy experiment you're working on right now? Or maybe even on the drawing
double
board.
that's looking like a triple or quad right now.
It's actually this one that we just released today. This is this triple oak that we tasted first. That's a killer bottle. It's a small run. We got about 300 bottles of that or so. No, a little bit more than that. 283 of them went to our online sales and sold out in 20 minutes yesterday. And the funny thing is, we have a website, so riverrootsbarrelco.com. You can go on there and you can buy whiskey on there. But that whiskey is illegal for us to ship it. So we have to find a distributing partner in Washington, D.C., and we send this guy, great partner to have, too. They're called Bourbon Outfitters. We send him a whole pallet full of bourbon and say, hey, list it on your website. And he lists it on the website. He sees the orders. He processes the orders. He fulfills the orders. And we just kind of, put it on for sale at 1 o'clock. And then at 1:20, I looked, and it was
gone.
Welcome to Ohio.
That's great. Yeah.
Welcome to Ohio's right. Yeah, crazy, weird liquor laws.
Yeah, the response we've had from the online sales alone, we'll spend, nearly 2-3 weeks getting stuff together. We'll send, a huge pallet with upwards of 600-700 bottles, and it's all gone in half an hour.
Yeah. That's great, though.
I'm going to get the weird bottle.
It is.
It's right here. I don't mean to step out of the camera view, but
No, that's cool. I like these flight boards, too. I'm gonna
thanks. Take a look at the bottom of those. There's like a lot of flavor descriptors on there, and some of them just are just kind of funny. If you want to pick out some flavors like
take this up to
lotion and pencil shavings.
I don't know if you guys can see. They have all the
Model glue. Model glue is one that I still have yet to try in a whiskey.
They have all the flavor
I guess
profiles
somebody has tasted it enough that they were going to.
carved into the board.
Somebody's tasted model glue before that made the cut to get put on that thing.
Oh, under
I
wrap.
guess maybe
Gift shop as well. If you
Oh,
come down,
gift
they're all
shop.
a little bit different. He's got a lighter one. I don't know the production style on these. They probably like laser CNC or something.
Yeah, the
but
guy that makes
some are
these
dark,
makes
some
them
are
for all the
lighter.
big distilleries
Yeah.
too.
All
All right.
Tell us
Remember
about
that,
tell us this one.
Remember the beer that I was talking about in California that got distilled, the Hop Rod Rye
The
IPA?
Bear Republic, yeah.
That's what this is.
This is a palate
Ooh.
record.
Oh,
This sucker,
Should've gone
this
the
is
other way
the, yeah.
first.
Well, this is the last one, right? So,
this is the quad. No,
no, but this was the barrel that we did the oaking in, part of the oaking process for during the quad journey. If you just hit the aroma only is full on tobacco. There's chocolate in there. This thing is complex and just flat out weird. And frankly, some people are just like, man, it's just too much. It's just
I'm trying to process
sensory
the
overload.
yeah. What's going on? It's amazing.
definitely smell.
You get some of the hop. You get some of the hop terpenes.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'm amazed that came through the
Through the distillate.
process. Yeah.
Yeah, right. If you think about that too, I mean, in the mash, well, actually, you know, in the beer itself, you would think that once that gets distilled, that a lot of that dankness, and dank actually has been with just about everybody that's tasted this thing, that's been the word that they described, like that big hoppy flavor. It's like opening a bag of weed. It really, truly is.
But Mo, the dank.
Yeah, for me, it's the smell more than the taste. I get the dank,
That's
yeah,
unique.
but I'm not getting the. It's a little bit hot at the end though, not as smooth. But am I seeing 100?
It's hot. You want to hear why?
154?
Yeah, it's 154.75 proof.
Okay.
Well, that
Right out of the barrel.
That checks out.
explains-
This is distilled beer, and this whiskey became 154 proof.
Hazmat.
Yeah. It's got a nice picture of the arcade downtown on it. This is an old bottle. These
The other
things
thing
aren't
with
in the
some of
wild
these barrels
anymore.
are too. They also have different char levels too, from medium to heavy toast. So you know the I mean, what do we call SRM in whiskey?
I don't know that there actually is
Is
one.
there
I mean,
SRM
there is a
whiskey?
color guide, I'm sure, but maybe from the distiller standpoint, that's something
just
that they
call it
worry about.
SRM.
but
I guess,
Call it
yeah.
SRM.
The lava bond scale.
Yeah.
Some
So
of them
they-
come
yeah.
out darker, some of them come out lighter. A lot of them come out lighter. The new
The
ones that we
ones
just got
that-
that came
yeah.
out of this barrel were light.
Those guys, I took all the samples out yesterday, and it's like it's a rainbow of whiskey because 8 different barrels in like 5 different colors.
Yeah.
All right, so when we did walk in, I see you do have a gift shop here as well.
We do.
So tell us about when that's open and
Sure. It's a legit OHLQ liquor store up there. I get phone calls all the time, people looking for Seagram's Blackberry and all kinds of stuff. You know, and all the business calls go right to my cell phone, so I never want to miss a phone call. So, hello, River Roots. Oh, yeah. I see your liquor store. Yup.
You got Fireball?
You got Fireball. Yeah, I've been asked that before. But we only sell
Got something better.
the stuff that we've got. So right now we've got, I think, 5 different River Roots offerings up there. That's typically what we have. Sometimes we have more. We try and never have less than that. We're also in 50 or so liquor stores in Northern Ohio. But they only have the shelf space to maybe have 1 or 2 of ours. So if you really want to try River Roots, I highly suggest you come down. Our hours are a little weird. We're open while we're here. We like to have the mornings to knock out all the work that we can. And then we open the shop at 1 o'clock. So we're open from 1 to 5 Monday through Friday. And we'd love to see you come on down and try stuff and check the joint out.
So you can try stuff.
You can.
Yeah.
We don't have the type of liquor license where we can offer full pours yet. When we go to the flats, yeah, we'll have a bar. But here, we'll give you a tiny little splash and tell you a little bit about the distillate. And every barrel's got a story, and we'll run you through it.
And follow them on social media. Find out when they're going to be opening up their place down in the flats in the spring, where you will have a full tasting room and cocktails.
Yep, no kitchen, but we'll have food trucks and whatever.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff around.
Pizza,
Yep.
pizza place across the street.
Exactly.
Italian restaurant.
Yeah, down in the corner.
Yeah.
Right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yep, right around the corner for me. All right.
So homebrew happenings. I got ingredients for a saison. I'm going to do a saison with the saison stein, omega yeast. I'm going to age it on Brett. I've been talking about this for weeks. It's so damn cold in my garage. That's where I brew. So gonna
Sounds like
wait.
you make a lager.
Wait, I know. Yeah, I could. I did get a glycol chiller. Don't need it. It's 12 degrees in the garage. So yeah, whenever it warms up a little bit, we'll brew that. You guys have any? I have space here. We can talk about events you have coming up. Any tasting events you're going to, or
Just,
Do you guys go out to any places and have your stuff sampled, or?
We don't.
I mean, they sell their stuff out in 20 minutes. So you know,
Yeah, we've done a couple things, small events. Yeah, but it's not like we have like whiskey festivals like there are beer festivals. Not locally. There's they do those things in Kentucky. Kentucky Bourbon Festival is the big one. We're actually going to be there this year, but that's not until when the weather gets warm, like late summer kind of thing. But around here now.
I was going to say, I will tell you that there are some beer festivals that do have liquor vendors there at times.
Yeah.
I can think of Voodoo Vodka's been out.
Was that Strong?
Strongsville's?
Yeah, we did Strongsville.
Oh, you and Tim did.
I did that with Tim, and
Yeah,
it was
Tim's our
primarily
sales
beer.
rep.
But then, who's the other Columbus distillery? They make stuff mixed in a bottle already.
Oh.
It's not Highmark. Is it Highmark?
No.
I forget.
I know
who it
Oh,
is.
you
But we've done some stuff like
Middle
that.
West.
Middle West.
Yeah, Middle West.
Yeah.
We've done some private events for some people locally. We do have a Thursday night whiskey tour that we do in house. That's on our website. Sample a few things, learn a little bit about the product, and the opportunity to buy a bottle to bring home with you.
Do your own
Yeah.
wax dipping.
Yeah.
Your own custom label.
Yeah. Christine is who you get a hold of through our website drop down box. I need to look at where it's at.
Book
on
a
the website.
tasting tour. Just click
Yeah.
on that. It tells you what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out our website. There's a lot of stuff on there. riverrootsbarrelco.com.
yeah, cool. Sounds good. We got some stuff coming up. Tomorrow we have the Destination Cleveland Passport Finishers / launch party. We're going to have a bunch of the brewers there. We're going to be there for the finishing party at Forest City. Starts at what time?
Starts at 6.
Starts
It
at
is
6.
the Forest City is closed to the public, so it is just for the
For a
finishers
special.
and
people.
for the kickoff. So all the brewers will be there to pick up all their stuff for the passport.
You picking up for Matthias?
He says he might be there.
Oh, snap.
hope
Is he
to-
bringing a keg?
Hope to
'Cause,
see you.
yeah.
Might need it. Yeah.
So we have other beer events coming up. The 15th of February at Butcher and Brewer, Stout It Out Loud. Everybody's bringing their heavy hitters out there. That's always a great event. Great food out there. It's a good time.
When's that one?
The
The
15th.
15th, right after Valentine's Day. It's a Sunday.
Nice.
Oysters
Nice.
and oysters and beer.
Yeah, what could be better? Winter Warmers course coming up March 7th. Windows on the River. I think my wife wants to pour for that because she wants to, she can handle herself. I end up just going around drinking everybody's beer, and I get too banged up. I got to Uber home. It's a whole
It's
ordeal.
a whole thing, yeah.
It's a whole ordeal. So she's gonna pour up with Tom and Maria pouring for Lorraine Brewing Company.
We'll be there.
Is Medina
Lorraine
They have
will
a-
be there, yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Did they get that confirmed? They're actually one of the premier sponsors
Mm-hmm.
this year for that as well. Interesting fact, though, that I just found out, which you'll like this, is that is the day that the clocks change. So
Yeah.
that night. So it's
Is that how? Why will I like that?
you'll spring forward.
Wait, does that mean gain an hour drinking or lose an hour?
You'll lose an hour.
Well,
Start an hour earlier then.
That's right.
yeah.
You need a special ticket for that.
Well, Tom and Mike, I mean, thank you so much for this.
Hey.
This was really
Yeah, thank you.
educational. It was cool to see this again. Something that I've been seeing on the shelves at almost every bar or brewery that I go to. The River Roots name is out there. The custom labels are really nice. And having had an opportunity to try it, I knew I was tasting a high quality product because the two that we had tried were very smooth, and to do that at 100, and I think one was 100, one was maybe 110, 112 proof, both were over 100. To get that is not easy to do. Not everyone does.
Well, credit goes to all the guys, the hardworking guys that make the stuff. You know, I'm not behind the magic.
Yeah, but you're able to pick the right one. So there's some.
If anything, it says we have decent palates around here. You know, we know what we like. You know, and that's all we kind of really go off of. So.
Yeah, I think it's a great business model. I think you guys got a great future ahead of you, and you know, production is just going up from here.
Let's do this again when we get to the new spot.
Sounds like
Absolutely, that sounds like a date.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a date. We'll check out that bar. So we got coming up on the show next week. We're going to be out at Proof Liquor Company in Strongsville.
We'll have to see if they have some River Root on their shelves or not.
Yeah, we're going to have to check that out. Eric Harpering's sister Haley is
Eric.
hosting us. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
he and I used to work together back in
Yeah.
the day.
He's been in the beverage
The monster
industry.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
a
is
monster
monster.
guy now.
Yeah.
His,
Yeah,
his
our,
sister
He's
owns.
been here. He was kind enough to buy a bottle at our very one of our first releases. He's a good dude.
Yeah. We like Eric a lot. He's at all the
He comes a
BlabberMalt
lot of shows. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Then we have a week off. The February 3rd, we have a week off.
Yep.
And then, I don't know, we're going to talk about the next date.
The
You think we're going to do it?
the 10th we don't still up in the air.
Yeah,
The 17th we've got John Lane from Winking Lizard.
that's right.
And we are working on a couple dates in either February or March.
Trying to
Emailing
nail
back and
people
forth.
down. We got some big names.
Yep.
In
Some
the
that you've,
hopper.
your paths have crossed in the past. Hopefully he'll.
Well, this guy's been at like 17 breweries.
I know. So it's one of those 17 brewers.
Stupid resume looked like a checkerboard. That's not a good thing.
No, it's good. It's good, man.
That was good. Met a lot of great people along the way.
Yeah, it's fun to talk to you. I'd like to talk to you more about that.
It's a great industry.
Maybe a in studio episode. I don't know.
Let me know.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
So email us blabbermalt@gmail.com if you have any issues. If you got issues with any of these people, any corrections, mistakes we made, we don't care. We're not going to answer you. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, Threads. We're at all the places. Spotify will be up there
I was
tomorrow.
going to say share since Facebook won't share. So share.
Yeah, we got hit. We got hit for something. I don't know.
Buy enough ad space.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They're really coming down on alcohol related businesses these days. But also cross posting on Northeast Ohio Craft Beverage News. So hit their site up. It's where I get all my news for craft beverage news.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys.
Yeah,
for,
thanks,
for
guys.
hosting us
This was
and
great.
Thanks for being
giving
here.
us a little history of this. And good luck to you. And what do you say?
Yeah.
Stay
Stay malty, Cleveland.
Good night, everyone.